Hello Rovers and welcome back to another viewer account review. Today we are reviewing Aman's account, or also known as Sid, and they've asked for review, hologram, rotation for Cartathia and Whimpering Ways, and some general tips on echo rolls and pull recommendation for their accounts. Alright, well let's get to it. Attack is okay, energy regen on the lower side, crit rate is great, crit damage is great. This one S0 is R1. Oh my god, bro. 3-5, 4-5, 3-5, 4-5, 3-5. Okay, we are off to a pretty decent start. While the attack is a little bit lower, because you only have one attack percentage rolls, that is still kind of fine. You have most of the stats that you need already. So for now, it is okay. Your skills leveled up for Galvera is great as well. Moving on to Chuyan. Chuyan's attack is absolutely brick, but whatever, he's not dealing the most damage anyways. Energy regen is on the slightly lower end. Crit rate is great, crit damage is a little bit low. Emerald of Genesis, S0. Okay. 3-5, 3-5, 3-5, 4-5, 3-5. So as we can see, one missing crit damage over here, but this is a 4-5 already, so you want to keep that. For Chuyan, I really wouldn't say that you want to min-max Chuyan unless you have no other resonators. And if you do get the opportunity to min-max Chuyan, do rework this one because this is lowest roll, mid roll, and one flat attack. While this is a technical 3-5, flat attack doesn't really help that much. Flat attack is a cherry on top kind of stat. For rerolling purposes, we can call this a 2-5 with double low rolls. And this one is a slightly better 2-5 because this is higher crit rate, which is important for Chuyan. The crit damage is lowest roll, so that's something to rework on. Work on this one first and then this one. But do not place too much emphasis on Chuyan because Chuyan is not doing a lot of damage, okay? Chuyan, you want to level up his intro skill more rather than normal attacks. Normal attacks isn't exactly like doing the most damage per se, so it's more like Forte, Liberation and Intro. Now moving on to Shorekeeper. Shorekeeper with 38k HP, Energy Regen 249, great. Crit rate, okay. Crit damage, okay, not bad. Okay, Variation, great. You have an extra variation. Maybe you want to look into raising this variation up as well for Verena. Should always check presets. Mona Lisa, Aura Rover, Cute Core. Well, this is a minimal preset user. Okay. Oh, I think it probably will be better for you to go crit damage here. While this is like 3-5. Crit damage is actually better for non-signature weapon shopkeepers. There's a lot more value in wanting your shopkeeper to do more damage than to heal, but HP has its good thing as well because HP shopkeeper allows you to tank 1 to 2 hits of hologram attacks, allowing you to recover. Oh yeah, this is 3-5, 2-5, and 2-5. We do not count crit rate. 3-5 and 2-5. Well, shopkeepers definitely on your last priority to min-max. She's fine as she is. The most important role for shopkeepers is to buff that crit rate and crit damage, and you're hitting that already. Anything else is going above and beyond. If you really enjoy Shorekeeper, you want the best for the number 1 waifu in Solaris, then sure, by all means, go ahead, min-max the shit out of her echoes. You know, the energy regen is looking quite brick. Crit damage is kind of low because I saw you using Blazing Justice. Do you not have Xiang Liao's weapon? Okay, you do not. Based on our interactions on stream, I believe that you're not too keen on raising your sub DPS, but Iuno is one of those outliers where you absolutely want to invest her like a main DPS because Iuno does a lot of damage. So therefore, you will want to unlock these 2 nodes for Iuno and rework on her echoes so that she has double crit, as well as having enough like around 130% energy regen so that you can ensure that your Iuno does a lot of damage to supplement your Augusta as well. If you are doing the main DPS Iuno rotation, however, then you could go with something lower such as 120, which I find is a much more comfortable energy regen range to work with because reaching 130 is going to be very difficult. For Augusta, you have good energy regen, crit rate and crit damage, and your stats are good enough to clear the endgame content. But if you're looking to get more points in Whimpering Ways, that's where the lack of attack percentage and niche damage bonuses in your echo rolls will affect you. Having a spread of stats will push your damage higher, while over-concentrating on double crits will only result in diminishing returns. That said, Augusta is one of your lowest priority to min-max at the moment since you have other resonators like Iuno and Lupa to work on. Now for Lupa, I think your Lupa is sitting in an awkward spot because your Encore is underbuilt and you do not have Brand or Changli. Sure, you can use her with Galbrana and Chuyen, but you have both Shopkeeper and Verena, so it's not really needed either. Still, you wouldn't go wrong by investing in her now since she will be a go-to for mono fusion teams. And also, she's actually pretty good at grouping enemies if you use her correctly in Wuwa. Because you've been starving her, she can't even pick up her flagpole properly. Oh poor Lupa. Anyways, if you do eventually use her, your priority is to get enough energy regen on her echoes first, so that you can swap to using Augusta's weapon and still get her out in time every rotation. After that, look into having a good balance of crits and attack stats as well. Your current Cartatia build works for her signature weapon if you do intend to get it in the future. If you don't, then I recommend making the switch to Emerald of Genesis because she can better use the energy regen on the sword. Blazing Brilliance is just a stat stick for Cartatia and does nothing else. I also recommend reworking on the 4 cores with Fleur-de-Lis Echo as the first one. If you intend to get her signature, you wanna try getting a double crit and energy regen to have an easier time getting Cartatia's outback and a better crit rate Kelpie. If you don't intend to get her signature, use the Emerald of Genesis, which allows you to forego the energy regen roll on Fleur-de-Lis for HP percentage and liberation, and change the Kelpie to crit damage. Chakona, the attack is kind of low. Energy regen is more than enough, 130 is usually good enough. Crit rate is still kind of low, but okay. Crit damage is great. Static Mist. It makes sense why your energy regen is high, but the crit rate is still kind of low. Like the big hit from your ult, kind of 50-50. Technical 3-5, 3-5, 4-5, 3-5, and 4-5. Okay, I see why. Missing one crit here. One crit rate. Maybe you want to rework on this one later on. Chakona is not your biggest concern also. So this is more for like when you want to min-max Chakona. Fall off of miss versus RS difference in crit rate. And because they are missing one crit rate roll over here, therefore it's even more obvious. It's like there's a huge difference between 60 and then 65, and then the next sort of like huge difference is like 65 to 70. So it's like being on 60 is very close to 50-50. Your Zenith build is mostly fine with the exception of your Capitanus. If you're able to get double crit and energy regen at the very least for your Capitanus, everything for Zenith should round up pretty nicely. Okay, moving on to Cantarella. Who are you using Cantarella for? Right, you did tell me that you haven't built Cantarella yet until you get Filova, so I guess we can skip Cantarella. For Cantarella, yes, you do have the right idea. Forte Circuit, you should also max out these nodes for Cantarella because it will help her Forte Circuit do more damage. Not like the best kind of damage you'll see, like, oh, some 200k, but you can still see like some 100k to 150k depending on how you build her. Phoebe with attack is 22k, energy regen is great, crit rate is great, crit damage is okay. Cosmic Ripples, I see. And this is Moonlit. Okay, Moonlit is one of those stats where I'm just like, okay, you have your Moonlit stats, and that's great. You have almost double crit on all of your Moonlit set, which is great, but I wouldn't recommend min-maxing Moonlit unless you absolutely have no one left to min-max. For Phoebe, you also want to max that Liberation. There is a difference between optimizing your materials and being very stingy. This is being very stingy right here. Unlock the nodes and level 10 the Liberation. Sure, her Confession State doesn't do so much damage, but that extra bit of damage sometimes might be crucial to your Wuwa clear. Maybe it can help you clear the mobs in the last second when you use Phoebe's ult, helping you gain a bit more points so that you can get your SSS rank, for example. Only resonators where you don't want to really like max everything are just your healer resonators. For example, Shorekeeper and Verena. Those are pretty much the two where you can be super stingy on. Sub DPSs max their skill nodes that they need, and DPSs max most of the things they need. While your Encore has Cosmic Ripples and Technical 3-5 on her Echoes, she's underbuilt because of her missing skill nodes, and her Echoes are also missing a lot of basic rolls. She wouldn't be your biggest concern though, since you'll be using her to clear side tower anyways, unless you wanna be an Encore main enjoyer. As for Aero Rover, if you're building Windward Pilgrimage, you want to invest more in his echoes so he can do a bit more damage. However, I recommend Rejuvenating Glow for the Bellborn or Moonlit Clouds for either the Bellborn and Heron to buff Cartethia. The damage brews from Turtle and Heron can buff Cartethia. The Turtle is easier to use but also easier to lose since the buff goes away after being hit 3 times. While the Heron buff harder to use because you'll need to outro to Cartethia, so choose your poison. Your Verena, are you not using Verena? You still do want to use Verena though. And you do want to have at least 200% energy regen on Verena. Here is the place where you can be very stingy. Not so stingy, get her to at least 200% energy regen. So probably just level up these two and you get her to 200% energy regen. And then you're good to go for Verena. You have Dungeon Race as well, that's actually interesting. Is this for future when you want to dungeon main? Well, those are unlevel echoes, so I guess it's probably for the future. Chisia has nothing. Jizzing has nothing. Mortefi has something. Mortefi. You would be using Mortefi with Augusta until came around. Okay, Mortefi is just one Heron. The Heron and whatever. Baizi, nothing. Yang, nothing. Yashiro. Okay, everyone's level 1. Okay, great. In terms of resonators, you do have resonators to clear the tower. 4 points. In terms of weapons, you have 1, 2, 3 signature weapons on the proper resonators. So you kind of do have the capability to clear the tower. Your echo build is kind of questionable. I don't recall seeing like bunch of 5/5s. So I'll probably give you like a 7 for now. And when we look at map exploration, let's see, map exploration is 100% everything. So okay, that is great. Great map exploration at a total of 6 points. Tower clear? Yeah, your tower clear is great, 36. And your repairing ways, okay. Okay, they got SS point, 4 points. Aman, where do you play? Okay. Well, you kind of don't want to use Aero Rover in Wuwa because he is too slow. But other than that, your team setup looks fine. So it's not bad account for him. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just that there's not a lot of emphasis on the sub DPS. So if he actually did put a bit more emphasis on the sub DPS, I think he would actually have gotten SSS rank in Wuwa. Yeah, okay. Okay. The key important thing here is that you can clear endgame as you are, which is what you're doing, so that's great. Alright, so for Echo Enhancing, we have the prime candidate, which is Capitanus, where you only have 1 stat. We are not working with a lot of materials here, so I think the demonstration is going to be very, very limited, but we see what we can work with. You do not have a spectral damage Capitanus. Ouch. Okay. That makes things so difficult. Okay, fine. We work on Iuno's one then. Okay, for Iuno, which it's the Capitanus one again. This is so much for demonstration. Yep, there's okay, we only have 1 aero damage bonus to demonstrate on. So once again, we're gonna do to +10. If +10 is shit, we stop enhancing. But this +10 so far, we have 1 crit rate over here. So it's actually good. Now, usually for me, if I have like these kind of excess over here that I don't want to use, I will just +35 in them because I have like a lot more tubes. But currently, you do not have that luxury to do so. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the bag. We're gonna sort by level. We're gonna use this delete icon. Find the things we don't need. For example, this one, don't need it. This one, maybe you want to keep, maybe you don't. So we'll just delete this one because this is clearly not the one that you want. And then you get some materials back. So here is where we go on to +15. Flat attack, okay. If you are willing to accept flat attack, for me, I will go on to enhancing another Capitanus because flat attack, you only want at the end as a kind of cherry on top. But since you do not have any other Capitanus, we will continue enhancing to +20. And you see, defense here absolutely break. Stop enhancing. For example, you have things like this one, right? Don't plus 25 straight away. When you have HP and flat attack like this, throw it away. This one is a huge bait. And then the second one, maybe. The third one, still kind of maybe, because flat attack still technically works. And then so here's where you want to be very careful. Go to plus 20. If plus 20 is shit, throw it away. If you have a lot of tuners and tubes to spare, you can risk the plus 25. But of course, you do not have the luxury. So this one is totally not for you. So let's say if I want to demonstrate another one, I think right now you still need the energy regen. So we are going to look into Lady of the Sea. No way, right? You don't have crit rate either. What the hell? I can't even demonstrate properly. Bro. Oh, this is your last choice to enhance. Because this is a technical 3-5, much better than your this one. But we have nothing to demonstrate with, so this will be the last demonstration. So here we go with 3 and 1. Okay, it's the crit damage over here. Nice. We can use this plus 20 to feed into it. If you're a little bit more adventurous, you can go straight away to plus 20. That's what I like to do sometimes. And then hope and pray for crit rate, energy, liberation. Okay, bro, this is what. Why the hell do we have to be so iffy like this? When you reach this kind of status, 16.2, 7.5, remember to compare it with your previous one, 17.4 and 9.3. It is a downgrade, so it's shit. It's absolutely shit. Do not continue to enhance. The chances of you hitting like another stat, let's say energy regen, liberation, and attack percentage, considering how echoes often like to debate you, if you have the tubes, sure. You do not have the tubes. So you may want to like just throw it away. This is the most iffy kind of echo enhancing you can see right now, which is exactly the most difficult kind to enhance, because they are literally debating you with one crit at the start. So you're just like, maybe I can plus 20 this one, and then the plus 20 just absolutely just be like bricks. But if you have like echoes straight away, like this one, throw away. And another good example is like this one, resonance, liberation, heavy. So imagine that I need plus 10 for this one. I will only look into plus 15. Why? Heavy attack here, 7.1. I think if I remember correctly, it's the second lowest roll. Then plus 15, basic attack damage bonus, throw away this Capitanus. Do not continue to plus 25 hit. So that's the idea behind Echo enhancing. Yep, basically what Sina said, Echo rolling is basically luck persistence plus knowledge about what kind of stats you need to make a viable build and what kind of stats you want in addition to make a build good. And right now, for your Iuno, you need energy regen. Like, I'm not even kidding. You desperately need energy regen. Now let's do hologram. Oh my god, why is it you again? Why is it always Fleur-de-Lis, man? Bro! Oh yes, right. For your pool plan, I would say that... What pool plan do you expect me to come up for you when you only have 48 strikes? Okay. Basically, if you can, try to get Prolova. If you cannot, then just wait for the version 3 units already. There is no pool plan when there is no airstrikes. The suffering begins, well, yep. Okay. That's a very, very bad start. Read my chat, I can't read when it's against Fleur-de-Lis. Aish! My goodness, I got a bit too greedy over there. Okay, bro. You chill and freeze for me for a bit. That's not meant to happen, but whatever. We will clear this. Okay. Nice. Oh. I was out of the range. Interesting. Tomb Break for people who can't dodge. Okay.
まとめてこい。さあ最初の5回時間の無駄だな。アドアストニュー最初のご加護浄化の光答えてください。
Let's go, Zenny. Nice parry.
恩寵をお与えください。インペラトルの名においていつまでもグズグズしてはいられない。さあこの時はそうもろく最初のご加護焼却し神聖を授ける。
Nice parry, Zenny. Nice parry. Absolutely beautiful play by Zenny.
神罰です。
Wow. That was close.
青い鳥よ。すべてが照らす光よ。少し真面目に取り掛かる。
はい。
かかってこい。もうすぐ体験時間だ。まとめてこい。ただのかすれ傷だ。任せなよ。終わりに報告書を作成しなくては。星の歌よ。最初のご加護浄化の光光の結晶よ。恩寵をお与えください。これが脆い最初の祝福です。邪魔な攻撃だ。
I need. Okay, never mind. Just need one more. There we go. Ow. Okay, whatever you're doing, stop that right now. I'm gonna stop that right now. That's right. Get broken, whatever you call it. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Swap in like that. Okay, freeze you in place. Go, Zenny. Boom. Yeah, let's go, Zenny. Let's go. The only change that I would want to do for your Wuwa is literally just swap Rover out for Verena. Now, I remember you do say that you do not know how to use Verena, so let's demonstrate how to use Verena really quickly. And we shall demonstrate it on our dear friend here, Crownless. When you're playing as Verena, and then you outthrow to Verena, you see her jump in, right? Let her do her jump first, and then after that, after she does a jump, use the skill. But if you do not have the outro, what you can do is you can swap into Verena, BA3, BA Ice. When you swap into Verena, do this, BA3, BA4, BN, BA5. And then after that, you can use the skill, ulti, echo, and then make sure to jump up to use her 40. That's literally Verena's rotation. For Kartetia team, the rotation is somewhat different on Wuwa, at least not Wuwa, on Wuwa, at least for the opening rotation. I will assume that you already know your 1-1-1 rotation, so I will move on to the slightly more complicated rotation, which the opening rotation is you start the challenge, you use the skill, go to Chikona, 1-2, then go to Verena, skill, echo, back to Jacona, and use the skill, then do the heavy like this. And then after that, while she's doing the heavy like this, you want to swap to Kartetia to do her basic and probably her heavy as well. And then you use the skill. As you do the plunge, you also go into Jacona like this. So if I were to do it very quickly, it should look something like that.
ご清聴ありがとう。神の本庁を任せてください。ご清聴ありがとう。よっ。完璧なフィナーレ。完璧。
And then here's where
これ
we
が運命のアンサンブル。
Jacona ulti and Kartetia.
真の姿。ここに
And
決定する。
Kartetia skill. Verena 1, 2. Kartetia stop back to Kartetia. Verena 1, 2, 3. And we do not cast Verina's ulti here yet because we want to outro Verena to Jacona. So like that. And then after that, just continue building your forte back to Jacona. Spin, do her basic attack, and then back to outro to Jacona like this. And then
この
ulti.
詩をフィナーレに捧げよう。
Then back to Kartetia.
海よ。この身を包め。
And then after that, Kartetia in the air. Down. Verena. Kartetia. Boom. Verena. And back to Kartetia like this. And then just repeat the rotation.
ご清聴ありがとう。百聞は一見にしかず。日向ぼっこの時間ですよ。ご清聴ありがとう。
Something important came up. What a timing. Oof.
滅びなさい。始まる。悔い改めろ。滅びを告げる。
Ah, messed up the rotation, but whatever. We can recover from that.
セルガイ。終止符を今日。高波よ。天地を切り開け。 ご清聴ありがとう。神の本庁。百聞は一見にしかず。見たね。ご清聴ありがとう。
And here is where you see Verena's energy regen not being able to keep up. And that's why we have one less... what do you call it? We have Verena not being able to cast her out here. Back to Kartetia. And then Verena to be 3b4 and back to like this again. So this is like the how you're gonna rotate like this. And if done properly without any mistakes, you can get like 3k or 3.2k. I had a few mistakes here and there, and Verena also didn't have enough out, so there was some delay in between.
ご清聴ありがとう。神の本庁任せてください。ご清聴ありがとう。お見せします。完璧なフィナーレ。完璧。この詩をフィナーレに捧げよう。崩れなさい。海よ。この身を包め。罪の浄化。滅びを告げる。振り込む。謝罪。共に戦おう。救済。破滅の一撃。
Basically, what I'm doing over here is I'm trying to maximize the list out in the next wave. I do not want to use it on the wave that's injured already.
日向ぼっこの時間ですよ。ご清聴ありがとう。これが運命のアンサンブル。崩れなさい。始まる。悔い改めろ。汚れを払え。脱線する荒波。食材。終止符を今日。4つの長ね。救済。セルガイ。謝
I should have waited for one more arrow stack. There was an arrow erosionless stack. I mean, out. Completely wasted.
この詩をフィナーレに捧げよう。滅びなさい海よ、この身を包め。着衣する荒波。共に戦おう。この近くに悪の滅ぼそう。 ありがとう。そう、日向ぼっこの時間ですよ。ご清聴ありがとう。開演の時間だ。
Basically, if you're wondering like why is this rotation looking so weird, it's because I'm doing many micro adjustments along the way. Because in Wuwa, you cannot always stick to the same like old rotation. Since there are times like where, for example, you're lacking a bit of damage here and there, but you don't want to use your ult on like someone that's already close to dying. This is a waste, so you do a little bit more attacks here and there. And then there's also like rotations for Verena might have been messed up because perhaps the wolf, when they roar, they mess up your forte cast for Verena. The key here for you to learn is not how to rotate 1-1-1 perfectly or like do quick stop rotations, but I feel the best thing for Wuwa for you to learn is to learn how to micro adjust so that you get your rotation back on track even though it's been interrupted. I feel like that's the most important thing.
神聖を授ける。ニュール少し遊んであげる。任せたわ。私を見なさい。せめて導きよ。これが私の決意。未来征服を始める。一気に攻めるぞ。
Ugh, I have to use my whole out here. It's kind of gross. Yeah, I have no choice but to use my whole out over here, huh? Because the rotation, this Augusta Iuno doesn't have enough to burst through the Heron like that. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is.
神聖を授ける。少し遊んであげる。任せたわ。私を見なさい。やった矢の隙を信じ、私に答えなさい。インサを覆せよ。受けてみよ。栄光は不滅。よっ。 これぞ王道の勝利。これで終わりだ。対の地入りを告げる。
Oh, and the other thing that you want to you want to do, right, is also to have more attack, because having more attack does really help the Plunderer's Captain Seal as well, since it scales based off your attack. So Plunderer's Captain Seal with more attack actually works really, really well here. Go, go, all systems go. We get a little bit more points. Okay, nice. Yeah, there. There's your SSS right there. Oh my god, I forgot to switch. I thought I swapped it. Okay. Never mind, Abyss Surges work. Abyss Surges work. That's for the Cartesia and Augusta Iuno rotation showcase. Really, you just need more stats on your sub DPSs. If your Chocona had more stats as well, right? I do highly believe that you'll probably be able to get 3.2k from your own playstyle reliably. You just need better builds. Of course, when you have better builds, Hyper Carry playstyle 111 can get you just enough to SSS rank if played properly. Assuming you're not on mobile. If you're on mobile, I guess things are very different, because apparently wave takes like 5 seconds to spawn, and that's the kind of mobile nerf you have to deal with. But yeah, hopefully you've learned something from this. Also, you also do need to respect the energy regen as well. Respect the niche stats, respect your attack, and respect your sub DPSs. Then I guess your account will look so much better. And that's it for Aman or Sid's account review. Hopefully you've learned something from it, and for the rest of you watching over on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Happy gaming, Rovers, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Goodbye.